Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me, LeVere Mordred here. How's it going? Welcome to Info Hell. I'm making a special video talk about art imitates life. PewDiePie has been accused of many things that he's been falsely accused of. But it seems like art imitates life because you see the movie Death the Smoochy, they're kind of similar to each other almost. Also, I forgot to mention my other video, a 100-year-old nun from Poland has recently died, unfortunately. She was about 110 years old, and she actually saved people from the Nazis. And it was actually quite interesting when I read through this article.
The parking lot, they say an armed bystander.
That's so cool.
Sit down.
Sister Sharachis have died recently, and she was 110 years old. And the Archdiocese of Poland actually came out and said this recently. She has been living in Poland for about 90 years. She hid Jews from Nazis back in 1940s. It's sad to see such a brave soul, such a wonderful, beautiful woman have died recently. But she was 110 years old. That's pretty old. And also, she hit the Guinness Book of World Records of the most oldest nun in recorded history who have lived 110 years old. That's amazing. This, guys, my room's a little dirty, but I'm kind of happy the fact that you're seeing this video. Art imitates life to the point that Death the Smoochy was accused in the movie as being a supposed neo-Nazi and slandered right across the internet. Same thing with the idea of PewDiePie off of a few jokes, misword jokes, that he was accused of the exact same thing. And the downfall of YouTube happened with journalists attacking PewDiePie. Was very individual. He's actually very popular, and he's actually going over T-Series, surprisingly. The T-Series is the major corporation that is actually funding on YouTube and cheating their way to the top. But PewDiePie has the numbers. He has the skills. He knows what he's doing. Subscribe to PewDiePie, guys. He's pretty funny. He's a comical YouTube artist, gamer, and yes, he had said some things before in the past. But it's pretty sad that a movie back in the early 2000s predicted this from happening. It's a bit insane. But slightly, there's a big difference between Smoochy and PewDiePie because PewDiePie made an inappropriate joke that got him with trouble with Disney, which, I mean, off of the millions of videos, all the millions of videos that he has, that, he made a few anti-Semitic jokes, Nazi jokes, but same thing with Mel Brooks and many other comedy artists. What's the difference between him and South Park? That's my question, in the first place. He's comical at best. But this ruined his deal with Walt Disney. He was going to have tons and tons of money doing these kind of cartoons, but unfortunately, that all came ahead when news organizations started cutting off his legs, metaphorically. Of course, his earlier videos was mostly just him making funny, outrageous skits, screaming a lot, and playing video games and overreacting, which is pretty comical, and people loved watching PewDiePie making these kind of videos in the first place, because he was a hysterical character.
Okay, we're dead. You shall not. Oh my God!
I know what you're saying. There's a big difference between Smoochy, spoiler alert, who is more of like a Barney character, and then, PewDiePie was more of an internet character of comical reaction videos of playing video games. There's a big of a difference. PewDiePie said some inappropriate jokes. Of course, comedy's supposed to be inappropriate. And then Smoochy accidentally with Rod Williams' character, Rainbow Randolph, who tried to basically make Smoochy look bad by giving him the wrong address to a neo-Nazi rally. Beautiful. And then, but the thing is, they're both kind of similar at the most. They're both entertaining to kids, and they both got slandered and falsely accused of. Sadly. And the death of PewDiePie, or Smoochy, what do you say, is, I would say, the people who are trying to ruin Smoochy's career and also PewDiePie's career. But he really screwed himself over with this kind of joke here.
Subscribe to Keemstar.
You know, PewDiePie defended his reason why is because he was trying to say it was just a joke. But the thing is, problem is with these days, you can't have jokes like that. I mean, do you think Mel Brooks can get off with his comedy today, with the PC culture it is today? Look at Blazing Saddles. Oh, God. Some of these progressives would have heart attacks in the movie theaters if they saw that today.
I think there's a difference between a joke and actual, like, fuck death to all Jews.
In a way that also add to the story with Death of Smoochy is a little bit more metaphoric. Rod Williams' character, Rainbow Randolph, was supposed to represent the establishment. And the establishment was highly against the new form of media, which is YouTube. So you really think about it, Rainbow Randolph was the old mainstream media going against the new mainstream media. And they want to smear YouTube as much as they can by doing this. So this is actually close to the point of life imitating art.
Proudly presents America's favorite kid show host, Rainbow Randolph!
So you'll make sure my boy dances up front, right? Gets to sit in the chair?
You want your little booger eater on my show?
Meet Randolph Smiley. He once was rich. He once was famous. And he once was sane.
Rainbow Randolph is the man.
By Art Imitates Life, that Rainbow Randolph was supposed to represent the old mainstream media of the old establishment. Crookedness, buying your way out, lobbyists, etc., etc., etc. I mean, parents paying Rainbow Randolph to sit up front for his new show. It's no difference than major corporations buying, and these lobbyists and these politicians buying CNN and all these news networks that are extremely liberal, buying them off. They're no difference. And the only difference is that Donald Trump doesn't want to pay for the paychecks and didn't want to kiss their ass and give them a little bribe on the side because they're a little pissed off about that.
Hello. You better grow eyes in the back of your fucking head, you horned piece of shit, because I'm not gonna sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass. I'm going on safari, motherfucker. Safari.
Gee whiz. What a day.
Here is the old replaced in the new. And the old is desperate, and they're playing dirty. Why do you think that Facebook recently has banned Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones, Paul Joseph Watson, and Milo Yiannopoulos? And Milo has been low-key for a long time, and fuck Louis Farrakhan, you saw that video. But Paul Joseph Watson's very informed person. Soon enough, they're going to ban Tim Pool and also Ben Shapiro. And it doesn't surprise me at all that they're going to. They already banned Tommy Robinson and Gavin McInnes. And soon enough, they're going to go after liberal channels as well because, again, you know, there's the whole point of competition. They're grasping on their position. And especially, you got other companies who are journalist companies like BuzzFeed has laid off a bunch of people. And you got people in major corporations are scared because they're quite used to having billions and billions of dollars and millions of dollars handed to them. And they can't change that because they're the bourgeoisie higher-ups. Just like Sargon of Akkad said, those dirty, dirty smear merchants will put us under the bus and try to label us as the worst of the worst at the time being. Of course, Rainbow Randolph dressed up in some weird costume, just a full Smoochy, to lead him into a wrong predicament in this one scene.
Here we go, let's shake a stick.
Okay. Boy, I'll tell you, this is really exciting for me, Mr. Kunkelpeck.
Hey, me
I've
too.
never played in a tractor parts warehouse before.
Well, Mr. Mopes, we like to keep it no frills. It's all about the wee ones.
That is such a great attitude. I wish more people felt that way.
Hey, go out there and hook a horn.
Thanks.
Hey.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce our very special guest, Smoochy the Rhino.
Hello, New Jersey! It's great to be here, kids.
Sing along if you know it. Friends, friends, we all got friends. You got me and I got you. Friends, friends, we all need friends. It's our pals that get us through. Oh, if I had... You know, it's a little hard to sing to your friends when you can't see them. Look, could we just kill that spot and bring the house lights up, maybe?
Hi, I'm Smoochy!
How many times have you read my camp?
Is Smoochy a code word for white power?
Adolf Hitler, your personal hero? Are you planning a violent overthrow of the government?
I don't hate anybody.
Does that mean you don't hate Nazis?
How does it feel to be a racist scumbag?
And you see right here that when the big old tech companies, these major corporations, these old white guys sitting behind desks smoking cigars, about 90-something years old, be like, we need to take them out. And they smear us like smear merchants and basically label us as something as the worst of the worst. This is the whole point. This is art imitating life. When we say out with the old and in with the new, and the old clings on and hides their power and just smears us and disables us and our voices. So this doesn't surprise me that basically the old establishment is really holding on, and they use their thugs called Antifa to silence us and the mainstream media as well, because they're all paid for. They're all bought and paid for. They can slander anything. They can slander us all they want to. We can still have lawyers, but that doesn't cause the point that regardless, that there's still find ways to stop us. Yes, at first, at the few times they will retract their statements, but we have to keep on buying lawyers after lawyers after lawyers to the point we're broke, that we don't have enough money to even sue. And they have all the money and all the wealth they have, so they have the better advantage. See there? We're fighting a fight that we're going to lose. And this is the sad part is, regardless of what we say, what we do, there's no point of it. But we need to fight back. We need a will to live. We need a will for a future. If you're a true American, there's no point to quit. Because we're fighting not only for our freedom of speech, not for your freedom of speech, but everybody's freedom of speech. Everybody's freedom. Not only that Edward Norton's character, his close friend who was mentally challenged, who's an ex-boxer, somehow ended up getting murdered by a mobster. There's a secret pedophile group in the business that Smoochy works for, that all past children stars were pedophiles. And the girlfriend that he was dating was one of those children. It was kind of weird. It was kind of sickening that even art imitates life. You look at Pizzagate and look at the Clintons, the people they worked with were actually pedophiles. It seems kind of strange that the Clinton organization that they worked with, and people who worked with the Clintons, were end up dead, murdered, or secret pedophiles. With Trump's administration, he got bank fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. I mean, you think that's kind of normal, but a huge death count between Clinton, and it seems kind of strange that art imitate life to the point that also you add into the Irish mobsters, the Italian mobsters, you add the whole corruption behind the business of children's shows like Barney and the Teletubbies and stuff like that. It is a dark underbelly of this disgusting evil, which you don't expect. It is a dark comedy, but that same thing with media. That same thing with news organizations. That same thing with politics. We all know this, and it seems kind of ironic that we didn't know this would happen, and in children's, but any line of field, because I used to be indie wrestling. In any kind of field, there is like that. There is some form of politics. There is some form of messed up corruption with that kind of line of business. And the people who mean well, who are trying to start up their own independent companies, who are trying to do the right thing, end up getting smeared the most and fucked over the most as well. Just like PewDiePie. I mean, Eric Cartman with South Park would make Jew jokes, and it's horrible and disgusting. There's no protest under what Cartman says. There's not huge protest, people holding signs, and magazines, protesting against South Park. But yet, these magazines are smearing PewDiePie off of a few jokes out of thousands of hours of content and videos. So this is why I sit there and say that art imitates life. The corporation of YouTube first was an independent platform to give people like me and everybody else on YouTube a voice to be heard, to make their own content. Now it's become the opposite. Sadly, the old days of YouTube, of the glory days of the golden age of YouTube, is gone now. Sadly, it's become the establishment. And we still need to fight back, and hopefully our president can sit there and say, hey, you cannot censor people's freedom of speech, and you should not smear them, and that's against the rules. They have enough power to smear us and have all those lawyers backing them up, but we have a disadvantage to get a lawyer, and even we can't afford it, they will still keep on smearing us so they can see us get broke. Talk to you guys later. God bless America. I hope you liked my video. Talk to you later. Bye.